Hey everyone, it's Keela here, and today I'm joining in a YouTube hop, and our theme this month is all about the boys. Now, I do have a little boy, so it's quite easy for me to be able to find a photograph and some products to use. Now, I did start off this layout with a cut file of stars. I think it's the Paige Evans confetti stars. I've used this cut file more than once. It is fantastic. And I splattered with some of my pearlescent paints in the black, which once dry looks more like a grey, and I splattered all over the background with that. So that is now off to dry, and I'm pulling in some pattern papers. I did pull out the Legendary collection by Coco Vanilla. I don't have much of this left. It is literally just scraps, but I don't want to part with it because I still love every little piece that I have. And I have lots of the stars that I previously fussy cut out that I can use as embellishments on the page. So I pulled in some scraps of paper, and I decided to go for kind of like brick red, navy and the wood grain. And the photograph I'm scrapbooking is an older photograph from 2012. I'm quite behind with scrapping a lot of my son's photos because I did have a massive break from scrapbooking when he was little. And it's just such a cute photo of him, and you can see his two bottom teeth, and the rest is all gummy, and I just think it's adorable. So of course I had to scrap this photo. I'm just layering in some pattern papers behind. Now I am using a sketch which I've put in the top right hand corner. I'll also link the group below where the sketch has come from, which is Lottie Loves Paper. Now I'm absolutely loving the Lottie Loves Paper sketches this year. I've joined in with quite a few of them, and I am a little behind with some of the sketches from the past couple of months, so I thought this was perfect opportunity to use one of the sketches. And this is the September sketch 2, if you'd like to join in with that as well. So I will be going back and joining in with all the ones that I've missed because they are fantastic sketches. So I've laid in my pattern paper behind my photo like on the sketch, and now I'm pulling in some of the embellishments and my fussy cut stars that I have for this collection, which, like I said, embellishment wise I really do not have much left at all. It's mainly these fussy cut stars, but they're just so gorgeous. You know, it's like I'm literally going to use this kit until there's nothing left at all, because it was definitely one of my favourite boy collections of all time. So with the stars, I'm pulling in the navy and the red as well to match. I've now gone off camera and I stuck my background down. It is now dry, and I really love how that looks, how you can see the subtle detail of the stars peeking behind the photo. I think if I'd not done anything on the background at all, I know on the sketch there was the option to do some mixed media. Mixed media really isn't my thing. It's not something I feel I'm very good at. I love how it looks on everyone else's pages, but when I do it myself, I just really don't like how it looks. I think it's just going to be one of those things I need to practice and practice until I get to a point where I like what I've created. So instead of the mixed media, I've done the star cut file on the background, and I really love how that looks peeking behind the layers and the photo. I've also pulled in some of those little paper strips for the top to create some paper layers up there. On the sketch there is a small cluster up there of papers. And I'm going to distress the edges of all my pattern papers. I love the effect that this gives. It just adds some texture to the page, and it also adds some separation between the paper layers as well. So I'm going to stick all those down on the background, and I'm going to use my T-square ruler just to make sure that these are straight. I think it'd look quite off if they were wonky. So I didn't make you watch me stick all those down. But all my papers are stuck down now. My photograph isn't yet because I do want to add some machine stitching, but I'm just going to have a play with some of these stars and see whereabouts I want them to go on the page. And I do go back to the footage of me doing this just so when I come to stick them down, I know exactly where I'd put them because I really love how it looked. So just fiddling around now and just figuring out where I want my little clusters of stars to go. I do want to scatter some on the background as well, just to, I don't know, just to add a little bit of something to the page because it was looking quite plain. But I do love white space on my layout, so I'm quite happy with the white space that I've left. Just fiddling and fiddling. This does take me some time. I'm quite indecisive when it comes to those little details, and I have to play and play for quite some time just to get them how I want them. I have got the rad die cut at the bottom, which I am going to use as part of my title. I think I did find the title probably the most difficult part of this page. I wasn't sure what I wanted to add as a title. I didn't have many of the title die cuts left. So it does take me some time, and I think I do step away for quite a while just until I think of something that I'd go with the word rad. So now I think my stars are now stuck down, apart from the title and the stars at the bottom. My photo is stuck down. I have added machine stitching through all my paper layers and also around the border of the page as well. I'm really happy with the cluster in the top right hand corner. I love how that looks and how it brings those patterns up to that corner as well. Now I've brought in some kind of labels that I've had in my stash for quite some time, and they're from Feckled Fawn. I found one that was in that brick red colour, and I thought, oh, I'll bring that in on this page and add a word sticker. The word stickers that I'm using, because I really don't have many left for this collection at all, is from my stash, and it's from like I think it's My Mind's Eye sticker book that has some alphabets, and then it has a couple of word stickers as well. And I use the phrase "stay happy," which I think works really well for the photo because he's got his nice cheeky grin in the photo. And those little teeth, they just get me all the time. And obviously he's now 10, so he hasn't got those teeth anymore. He's got adult teeth now. So I just think it's so cute to document those little baby teeth. And when he didn't have a full set and he had his little gummy smile, I love it. So I'm just fiddling around with this die cut piece. Like I said, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted my title to be. I didn't know what I could add to the word that would extend the title. So I pull in some thickers from my stash, and these are white foam stickers, and these I think were from a past Paige Evans collection. I'm sure it was Pick Me Up. But I did pick these up from Hobbycraft, and I bought multiple packs of them. I did move the label piece above my photo, and I prefer how that looks up there. And I do bring in some foam soon and pop it up on foam as well. I've kind of tried adding a few things here. I'm like, rad little guy. I wasn't happy with how that looked. What else do I try? So rad. Again, I wasn't happy with how that was. In the end, I do decide to go for Mr. Rad, and I think that works perfectly for this photo of him. And I definitely prefer how that sits above the die cut, and just slightly overlaps the corner of the photo. I'm not sure what I'm doing now. I'm bringing in the foam to pop my label up on foam. And I do distress the edges of the label as well, just to add that same look that I have on my pattern papers. I'm still fiddling with that title. I have not committed to the title yet. I'm going to bring in the letters for Mr. But before that, I'd try and add a title just using these small thickers. But I didn't like how it looked. It looked too small on the page. And I just wasn't happy with it at all. The die cut rad piece kind of just fit under the photograph perfectly. So I did want to use that really, but I do try, I think, My Boy, which I've probably used on countless amount of pages in my albums. But no, I come back to the Rad die cut. And that's when I decided to go for Mr. Rad, and I think it just works really well. He's such a cool kid. I know most parents will probably say that about their children, but he really is such a cool kid, and he has been from being so small. Kind of my name for him, I always call him Dude. It's always been Dude. So I've got countless amount of pages titled Dude, which I'm sure lots of us boy mums do. I do try these white stars from Bramble Fox, but I wasn't happy with how they looked. I've got a lot of white on white going on already in the background. I've brought in the white thickers to write the word Mr. I needed something else that was colour on the background. So I do go for some navy fussy cut stars instead, and I just scatter those around the page. But I do pop these ones up on foam. The rest of the stars are all stuck flat. But I just like the shadow that this gives by just popping those up on foam. So I think that is now more or less my page finished. I do bring in some more splatters because I did splatter on the background to start with, and I'd covered quite a few of them up. I needed some more coming out from behind the clusters, and I also wanted some splatters on top of the paper as well, because it does add a nice little bit of sparkle. So yeah, so that's my layout complete. It is a very simple one. I'm not sure why it took me so long to make this page, possibly because I didn't have a lot of the collection left, so I was trying to really work with scraps, which I do find a little bit harder, but I always love the outcome in the end. Please do check out the description below, where you can find all the links to everyone else's channels. Thank you for watching. Bye.